the intersectionality of people's identities. You know, as you say, maybe you were expecting one thing, but then something else. Do you think that kind of say helped you, or like kind of strengthened you and your identity by like having something kind of kind of come at you? Do you think it kind of enriched your study abroad experience? Did it kind of not quite break down a stereotype, you know, kind of like give you that people, you know, are thinking about this in this country, or this is something you hadn't considered in the United States?
I just like, at least for me, because I was called like a really bad Spanish slur for like a Latin person, or specifically like a Mexican, like by a queer person. So I just honestly want to remind people like being queer isn't a monolith. Like just because you have like one identity that me, you know, like I don't know, how do I put this? Just if you have like one identity that's like disadvantaged or not seen in the same light as everybody else, it doesn't mean that they're gonna treat other, you know, people of other identities another way, which is sort of, I don't know, what I've learned about in the US, because I feel your experience here has very much been like, oh, you're queer, I'm Latin, we're both disenfranchised in some way. Like, I get you, we see each other. God, it's much, much different. And it was just sort of a wake up call that I think needed to happen for me, which was like, it was nice. Like, it was not nice happening, but it was interesting just seeing how that worked and being
Oh, so we lost Joseph. Serena, were you going to add anything or kind of follow up on it?
I mean, actually, I think Joseph just hit on like a whole other panel that could happen in general of just like, yeah, I also noticed definitely that, you know, like for example, my host mom was completely fine with queerness, um, like that part of my identity and whatever. And I sort of mentioned something that my grandma is Central American, and then that sort of became like a different point of attack, which was sort of interesting. And like Joseph was literally saying, like, yeah, I just didn't even really like expect that to happen, because I think that like as Americans we just perceive that just queerness like especially is going to be attacked when we go to different, but there's actually so many different like aspects of identity that are sort of a lot more um, felt or recognizable when you're abroad.
Interesting.
And then, so both of you explained it and summed it up very well. I very much had like similar sentiments of those same experiences. I guess like in Europe, I found out that I was like more observed, like people were more observant of me being Asian. When I was in like India and the UAE, people were very observant of me being like a woman. So it was interesting to see those and how it's affected it, but also things that I'm like, it was interesting to see that I perceive myself and like Americans may perceive me in one way, and going abroad, I was perceived a different way. And I think that I'm also mixed. I'm Korean and white, and so that is also really unique because some people were like, "You look completely Korean," and some people are like, "You look white," and I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know people commented on my race. Like I didn't know that that would be very normal." But I think that also like just due to like so many reasons, people just assumed I was Chinese a lot of the time, and I wasn't gonna let it get to me. That's just how they assumed that most Asians are Chinese abroad. That's what I felt like, but that was just my experience, and so okay. Like everything was all right in the end, and I felt uncomfortable. Like I could just like I always had a buddy with me, you know, travel safely. So